Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns and Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're going to be talking about the spell Conjure Volley. All right. We recently talked about the spell Conjure Barrage, and reading through the spell description, I'm not able to find a whole lot of difference in this one, except that a level increase and damage
If I were a
increase.
professor and I was checking for plagiarism, I would absolutely say they copied each other 100%, because they are very close to the same as far as words. They do different things, they're different spell levels, they do slightly different damages, obviously, but they're very, a lot of similarities here.
Yeah. What are we going to talk about?
Great. Well, this is in the 5th level spell slot. You fire a piece of ammunition, you fire the piece of magical ammunition, throw a non-magical weapon, you get a volley of that thing. So if you throw a hatchet, a whole bunch of hatchets come spiraling out and hit a 20-foot high cylinder, 40-foot radius area. Notably, very large area. This hits a pretty substantial space.
Before we go on, much like we discovered with Conjure Barrage, the piece of ammunition or thrown weapon that you're actually shooting or throwing doesn't count toward the damage.
Yeah, it's not an attack roll or anything like that. Correct.
Yeah, you're just firing it into the air.
Yep.
All right. I do not like that aspect of the spell. It doesn't, it doesn't seem like that, that it would be that much of a difference,
I think it would be way cooler if you shot something and the area happened around it. And you get to do the cool thing. I agree with you, Bob. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, give the Rangers something.
Agreed.
Oh.
Kicking them all down.
All right, go on.
You can play Rangers and have great times. Just their spellcasting doesn't help them a whole lot. Conjure Volley isn't necessarily an exception to the rule. The spell isn't remarkable by any standard, but at least, for once, we get to say, okay, this meets the fireball damage standard. And when I say meets it, I mean it out damages fireball on average by 1 point of damage if you upcast a fireball at 5th level.
However,
that's all it does.
No, yeah, I know, but full casters are getting fireball at 5th level spells way sooner than a ranger is.
Yes, your wizards could have been upcasting their fireball since 9th level. You have waited 8 levels to be level 17 to get access to the thing they've been doing for over half of the game. I mean, technically, if we say that all spells are fair and balanced, there's no reason that higher level spells for the half-casters should be better. This is on the mark. It's not, though. If you're going to get to the capstone, if you're going to get level 17 features, you're competing with 9th level spell slots. Meteor Swarm, nowhere close to this. You both get the same number of those. Your wizard gets 1 Meteor Swarm, and you get 1 Conjure Volley. Those aren't close. Those are not close in power. One of those is ending an encounter and leveling a city. The other is doing a 5th level fireball. And that's wherein lies the problem with the half-casters. Conjure Volley is indicative of showing, this is a spell I would expect to be somebody's homebrew. That is the quality that we're looking at here. I would expect this to be somebody who wants to do the ranger fantasy of making arrows coming from the sky. They looked at the DMG and they said, oh, this is how much damage an area and effect spell should do at 5th level. They copied it, they pasted it, they increased the damage die by 1 size because they wanted it to be cool and flashy or whatever. And that's what we got. We got Conjure Volley here, and it is not good enough. It needs to be doing something else. It needs to be working with the ranger play pattern. Let this be as part of one of their attacks, like you suggested. Let this be a part of the attack action the rangers are making, so at least they can still be doing the other things and that they've been building their characters to do, and then also have this cool utility in their back pocket to have a 5th level fireball on hand. Let them do the things that they've been building towards and have that work in conjunction with their spells, as opposed to just giving them worst versions of full caster spells, because that's what this is. It's a worse version of a full caster spell. And there's just nothing to say about that. It's a non-spell. This is a feature that you can't get excited to get whenever you've been partying with full casters.
How does the area effect compare?
It's larger. This is a 80-foot area radius to a 20-foot high ceiling. So this is going to hit more things than a regular fireball would. It's not going to hit more things than a meteor rain is. It's not going to hit more than a wall of fire is. It's not going to hit more things than other higher level spells that happened earlier in the game are hitting. So this isn't new or exciting. unless you're in a party of no full casters, or you have the one full caster druid who's not doing the giant area of effects damage stuff. You don't have the sorcerer wizard. You don't have the bard that's stealing magical secrets to do the big area of damage effect spells. If you don't have any of those to worry about, this is like, okay, a neat new tool we have access to on the ranger that isn't better than the 9th level or 8th level druid spells, but they're fine. If you're not at a table with full casters, getting this is like all of a sudden, okay, this is around right. We're playing a very fair game of Dungeons and Dragons, and this kills lots of things with 30-ish HP. And that's the first time that's happened in this game because we're playing a game without full casters.
40-foot radius is huge.
Yeah, that's a big area.
I mean, if you're going against an army that everybody's crowded together,
yeah,
that could be kind of devastating.
Again, I agree with you. And if you're at the table that doesn't have the full casters, if you're at this table that doesn't have the cleric that has access to magic that can do this kind of stuff, this is going to be better than anything else you've seen prior to this. This is going to be one of the highest damage area effect options that you have at the low magic tables. At the high magic tables, this is an unremarkable piece of garbage spell that you should never think about.
Also, how often are you going to be going against these full crowded armies?
I mean, at this tier, hypothetically, you should be. I would argue that this is a spell that if you are going against if you are playing the upper, higher level epic gameplay, I would recommend as a DM, especially if you're facing down things like Meteor Swarm, you have to give the wizard armies to kill. And that's how you do it. You send legions of creatures at them, right? And then you have the hit squad of elite mercenary assassins that are your martial characters. And then you have the area of effect damage lords that are your druids, that are your wizards, that are breaking the game in half with spells that are wildly unfair. Higher tier, upper level D&D is messy and complicated, and it's going to vary wildly table to table based off of magic items, based off of a whole bunch of other enormous caveats that are going to make every single game look and feel so radically different. But some of the standardizing stuff, it's always going to have major impacts, or big, flashy, explosive spells. And this is not big enough. This isn't splashy enough where if you're at a table with those other characters that it's meaningful. This is just a pretty big area fireball. And a pretty big area fireball that kills a bunch of stuff is good at tables that didn't have it before this. And if they had it before this, feels pointless and like a waste of time.
All right. Got anything else to say about this?
It's a 2 out of 5 spell in that there are going to be those tables where that is fine, where you're like, I do want to have a 5th level fireball as my ranger at this point in the game. I can't get excited for it. Your other capstone feature you get is plus whiz modifier to your damage on hit. So have fun with that, bud. Sorry you played 17 levels of ranger. And you'll just have to deal with everyone else getting cool, better things than this. You're going to have to deal with your paladins getting, a minute of being an archangel and flying around and smiting things for 12d8 damage and garbage like that. But, that's Dungeons & Dragons sometimes. Sometimes things aren't fair.
All right, well, that's more than I thought we were going to say about this.
Same.
So, all right, that was Conjure Volley. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and thank you, Sam, for being here. We will see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it. A gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.